I'm Natalie and welcome back to my channel. So recently I went for a hike at the site of the old LA Zoo, which is also known as Griffith Park. I'm kind of fascinated by abandoned places, so it was really cool to explore the zoo's ruins. And unlike most abandoned places, the old LA Zoo is surprisingly accessible. So let's head over to Google Maps and start exploring. Okay, so if you search Old Los Angeles Zoo on Google Maps, the website will take you to this portion of Griffith Park. So in order to access the Old Los Angeles Zoo, you're going to proceed down Griffith Park Drive towards the Old Los Angeles Zoo picnic area. Once you turn off Griffith Park Drive, you're going to see some parking spaces. Proceed further down this partially paved road, and you'll end up finding some accessible parking spots closer to the actual start of the hiking trail. So go ahead and park your car here if you need accessible parking. So this part of the picnic area trail is partially paved. Some of it is dirt, some of it is pavement. It seems to me that the pavement is just kind of worn through from heavy traffic over the years, but it is pretty accessible, at least from my opinion and my experience. But I am also not an accessibility expert, but from what I experienced, it was pretty accessible. So once you get to this parking area and this picnic area, you're going to proceed up this path here through this kind of wooded area, and that will lead you up to this old LA Zoo picnic area. There are a few picnic tables here and some trees, some nice shade to have a snack or a lunch or hang out with friends and family. It's a pretty nice area. And this loop here is partially paved as well, or again, I guess technically fully paved, although the pavement is pretty worn out. So it's just pretty bumpy, but it's definitely pretty easy to navigate from my experience. So if you continue to proceed up the trail on this side of the loop, it's going to take you past the old gorilla cages, which are right here. And I was able to actually wheel my wheelchair into the bottom of these gorilla cages because there are some picnic tables set up inside these gorilla cages, and you can kind of look up into where the gorillas used to live up in these areas here. If you continue up the path further, you can either continue straight or go to your left, and this leads to this dirt path that is the continuation of the lower zoo trail. And this part of the trail goes behind the gorilla cages, and you can actually look down into the cages from the top, which is where the zookeepers used to access the gorilla cages. And if you continue down this dirt path, you'll actually end up running into another cage. I believe it's up in this area here, and there are some more cages kind of further down this trail. This part is dirt. It is pretty packed and sturdy dirt, so my chair did not sink or anything in this dirt. It's not sand, it's definitely dirt or gravel. So it was pretty easy for me to navigate from my experience, which was pretty great. This other part of the trail over here is still paved. So if you continue on this part of the trail, you'll pass another set of cages, which it looks like maybe birds or smaller animals were kept in these cages. And there's actually a ramp up to these cages. You can look closer at the cages and kind of peer into them if you would like, and kind of explore the abandoned zoo even further. So if you continue on this lower path, it's still paved pretty much all the way through, and it continues up towards the paved drive that you actually use to enter the park. So one thing that I did discover while I was there were these really awesome abandoned aqueducts, I guess you would call them. It looks like a river flows through them when there's heavy rain, and those are pretty cool to explore. So if you want to explore those, the way that I got up to them was kind of a roundabout way and definitely pretty steep. I mean, I did it in my power chair, but I would not recommend that you do it in your power chair. It's pretty steep and not accessible. But there is a trail that cuts through the woods here and leads up to this upper zoo trail. And so I used that to access this upper zoo trail. But if you want to actually use the accessible way to access the upper zoo trail, I would continue down. You should continue down this lower zoo trail path until it empties out onto this road here, then just turn to your left, and then the trail picks up again right here, and it's the old upper zoo trail. And this portion is not paved. It's that same packed dirt that they used to carve out this lower zoo trail. So it's that same material. It's pretty packed and sturdy, and I was able to drive over it pretty easily. There were some bumps along the way, but pretty much it's generally pretty accessible. But again, it's not paved, it's dirt. So yeah, so this upper zoo trail is really beautiful. It leads kind of further up into the actual hillside, and there are some really pretty views from this trail. And you can also take this upper zoo trail all the way to the merry-go-round. Alright, well, that's it for today's video. If you've enjoyed today's content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that little bell button down below to receive a notification the next time I upload a video. I upload videos every Friday and occasionally on Wednesdays. I hope you have a phenomenal day, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.
Batteries are getting low.